Hey everyone! So, gosh, it's been a while. I think it's been 4 weeks since I last did a video on here. And for that, I apologise. We all knew that every other week was gonna not happen at some point. But by the time I realised I didn't have any ideas, and there wasn't at that point any real updates medically. So, 4 weeks later, we have got some updates. If you are following me on the social media pages, my Instagram especially, you will already know, or if you know me and you have me on Facebook, you will already know. But a couple of weeks ago I had my 6-month MRI, although it was only 5 months because I actually had some more pain, just because we wanted to be sure. The oncologist recommended we bring forward my 6-month MRI, which I was meant to have in May, to April, and that's what we did. If you're following my TikTok, I did do a come with me for my MRI, kind of showing you how I prep for that. Basically taking lots of meds, no metal on me, so no jewelry, wired bras, etc. For that. And then it was with contrast, so I had my cannula put in so they could do the contrast. MRIs I don't normally look forward to, just because I do need to try and keep still for a long period of time, which in my position is quite difficult. It's always been something I'd found really challenging, just because of pain levels. But actually this time it was really quite good. It was a lot shorter than normal, so whether it was a different machine I'd ever been in, so whether it was more tailored for that, I don't know. But they even put some music on, so that was nice. And it was a lot shorter, which always makes it better anyway. The day before that MRI, I had an ultrasound on my liver. So I'm having regular blood tests, just to keep an eye on my levels, especially with me being anemic back along. And we noticed some dodgy liver levels going on. So they just wanted to make sure everything was in check. It was all fine. I've still been referred to a hepatologist, which is a liver expert. I've got that at the beginning of May, just to make sure everything is in check there. So last Friday, me and my mum went to my clinical follow-up appointment from my MRI to get our results. And going in, I was really expecting the worst. I have done all the way through. Even in life, I've always kind of expected the worst, because then you can't be disappointed. And for me, that works. I know maybe it's not the healthiest mindset to have, but it's what works for me and what I feel comfortable with. So we were sat in the waiting room thinking, it's grown or inflamed, or it's, we're not going to see any progress at this stage. Just kind of, I think, preparing ourselves really, but also not getting our hopes up. So, there's pros and cons to both ways of thinking about it. So we went in, we spoke to Dr. Pamwa, who is my oncologist down here, and we also had Olivia, who is one of my multidisciplinary nurses as well. We spoke about the liver stuff first, and then we got on to the results of the MRI. I've got my phone here because it's got all the official bits to it. So, comparing it to, I think this says here November, but it hadn't changed much since the June. So, thinking before treatment last year, and then at my 3-month follow-up, the Timmy tumour measured 13.4 centimeters by 14 centimeters by 15 centimeters, so that's quite big. But as of April 2nd, which is when my MRI was, it's now measuring 9.7 centimeters by 12.6 centimeters by 12.2 centimeters. So it has shrunk. I'm going to try and put them here side by side so you can see them. There isn't much of it, like there's still a lot of tumour there, but you may be able to see that it's more condensed than it was. So it was very kind of oblong shape, bits sticking out and all of that, whereas now it's a lot more condensed and more circular. My oncologist, he's always been very kind of serious, very matter of fact, and I think from memory this is the first time he'd smiled and been very animated. He took me and my mum in the back where all the computers and everything were to like show me the difference, and he actually did the maths. So the surface volume had decreased by 50%. So it's not in half, but it's gone down by 50%, which is obviously really, really, really positive and really good news. And unexpected as well. We going into it, having the treatment, we knew it was possible that, it wasn't going to shrink, but hopefully it was just going to, keep it at bay, keep it the size it is. Maybe like millimeters of change, not centimeters that we've seen now. This is really positive in my journey. Obviously, there is still a long way to go. It's very much still in there. I'm very much still in pain, so on lots of medication. Still got numbness down my leg, pins and needles, all of that. That's nerve damage, so it's very difficult to put a stamp on whether that's going to improve or not, because nerve damage is very different to kind of muscle damage, if you will. But it's a step in the right direction for my case, because it's shown the proton beam therapy has worked and done what we hoped it would and more. It's also, in my opinion, a step in the right direction for people that may be going through or will go through similar, because to my knowledge, I can't say because I'm not professional, but we were under the impression that figures like this haven't been seen before, in that, proton beam could be something to look at for maybe longer term than we originally thought, which is really good. And he sat me down, he said, look, this isn't going to rule your life, like this, don't focus on everything. He said, just live your life, don't let cancer dictate what you do and hold you back. I like to think I've not let it hold me back, but I'm going on stage again next week, in the second show since my diagnosis. But there's definitely things I haven't done, or I've not looked into doing more, because I am scared of making things worse. I know deep down, I'm not going to make anything worse, but it's that I'm exhausted day-to-day activities, and I don't want to make myself even worse. It's that fear of things going wrong and me causing those issues, which I think it's acceptable to have those fears and those worries. But this news, I think, gives me hope that maybe I've got, more time to do everything I want to do, and potentially like be able to do things that I originally had written off. I'm not in a position to return to work yet, because so one day I feel great and push myself and do lots, the next day I'm paying for it. And so I'm very much not out of the woods, but this news is a step in the right direction. They did find something on the MRI. It highlighted something not they hadn't seen before, or something that they just need checking. Chordomas don't usually grow separately. It's one tumour, so they think it's nothing. They think it's just scarring or fracturing from the proton therapy. However, they've sent my scans to London, to the team up there. They meet on a Friday morning, so they're looking at, this video is up on Thursday, so they'll be looking at that tomorrow morning, and I'll hear back from the hospital hopefully tomorrow afternoon with the news that it's all good. They said it's nothing to worry about. But obviously they do need to check every single avenue, because they are learning things about proton every single day, potentially new long-term effects and all of that. Whew, that's a lot of information I've just given you. So summary, very much still have pain. Tumour is responding and has shrunk because of the proton beam therapy. We're looking into potential liver issue, but which is hopefully nothing, and looking into a potential issue that was highlighted with the MRI, but once again, hope it's nothing and just a side effect from the proton beam. In summary, that's what it is. Obviously the family are extremely happy. There was lots of happy tears happening last week, which makes a change, because we haven't had a lot of that over the last year, and it makes kind of everything I went through worthwhile. All the emotional ups and downs, the ovarian transposition surgery, the nausea and diarrhea in London, the heat stroke, and it's made the last year worth it. So what's coming up? Clinically there's not a lot going on at the moment. Obviously we've had all of my follow-up results. So I'm carrying on my specialist physio. I don't talk much about that on here because it is very private and personal. I share a lot on here, and that's just something I've chosen not to share at this point. Things may change. I may, in the future feel a bit more comfortable sharing that, but at this point, something I feel comfortable just keeping to myself. I've got my hepatology appointment at the beginning of the month, which will hopefully be fine. So that's my news. I imagine this is going to be quite a long video, because I haven't done one for a few weeks, and I'm filling you in with what's been going on, all of that. So we can count this as 2 videos in one. As always, I like to hear from you guys. Any questions you may have, any ideas of what you might want to see in videos, whether that's TikToks, challenge videos on here, because I actually really enjoy making these videos. But I don't always want to share, people don't always want to hear medical stuff. So if you think of any kind of fun challenge videos you'd like to see, even if it's got nothing to do with having cancer or at the hospitals or anything, let me know in the comments below. Make sure you're following me on other social media platforms, Instagram and TikTok. And yeah, I'll see you in weeks. Bye!